All right, so we got the sun in Aries and we got the moon in Taurus. So basically, the moon is in Taurus. For me, the moon loves being here and is exalted here. So it loves having fun here. For me, it loves being here. It's like I feel home. Like for me, I feel welcomed. I feel good. But also, the negative spectrum, depending on the situation, how these things can play out, we got Taurus. But we got Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is uniqueness, originality, change, revolution, rebellious. So we can start to witness an upheaval, change in the things that we value, our balance, our security, things that make us comfortable. We've been witnessing this shit all year, especially in 2020, when this quote unquote invisible, imaginary Christ figure is airborne, but we got visible to shoot in your motherfucking arm. Yeah, there's a whole lot of shit going on right now. So of course, when we got Moon and Taurus, we're gonna be reacting, responding to safety, comfortability when it comes to things that we value, things that we love to do, our ecosystem, which is our balance, a thing to walk on, a place to lay your head at, feel me? A bed to live on, a room to enjoy, an endeavor. But of course, with all this shit going on and all these scenarios that's playing out and all these transformational issues that's happening, expect change. And change gonna come. Oh, yes, it is. So expect some motherfucking changes. Don't be afraid. Don't fall short. There's a new moon. So make sure you have new ways of looking at things, new ways of representing yourself, new ways on outlooks, and new ways on how to prevent these scenarios that take place in your life. Because you need to understand that everything is in the stars. The truth is in the stars. You got the sun, you got the moon, and you got the truth. That's so you got. Now you have a sun and you have a moon. And of course, the truth will be your spirit, the moon will be your reactions, and the sun will be your actions. But understand, the truth is always your spirit. And your spirit always gonna know, because your spirit was first. Your spirit will always be first. And when you put your spirit first, you will receive truth first. But the world have you living backwards. The world got you putting the sun first, which is an illusion. Then they got you putting your reactions to it, which is how you feeling about that lie. Then they have you thinking that the truth is in the sun, but these are three separations. Feel me? When you go to sleep, you're gonna separate from the sun and go into your moon body, and your spirit gonna be watching over you. Now you need to be light as possible, light in weight, light in the mind, light in your emotions. Because if you're not light, you're gonna be too heavy. You won't be able to actually uplift things that's holding you down, hindering you, that's pondering you on a day-to-day basis. These things could put too much emphasis on you that can cause chaos, eruption, and imbalance. You need to be balanced. You need to keep the scales perfect. You got to make sure when that train is transporting, and when you the train transporting, you got to make sure the rails is perfect. You got to make sure this shit is in order. You got to make sure the details is being hindered. Feel me? Can't just go out there being a fool by not experiencing certain things, because you always going to experience things, and you need experiences for your spirit to grow and get bigger in order for it not to experience the same shit all over again. So the shit that you pay attention to, these create scenarios for experiences to basically take place in your life. Now you don't need this shit happening. You need to be in order. You need to be civilized. You need to be situated. And of course, if you living chaotic, a lot of shit gonna happen in your life. Shit that you don't want to happen in your life will happen in your life because you allowing that shit to act chaotic in your motherfucking life. Real shit. What you paying attention to is where you planting the seed at. In your mind is where you planting the shit. So pay attention to where you're planting shit at. Because if it ain't real shit, if it's bullshit, you're gonna be laying in bullshit. Everywhere you walk, that dog is gonna shit on your motherfucking grass. And you gonna walk in that shit. You're not gonna be paying attention. Because you lost. You walking in shit. You observing shit. Now you smell like shit. Now you is shit. Now you ain't shit. Because you will always know you ain't shit. Because when you leave this body, you'll be able to actually create more shit for your life, which is the spirit is no thing. The spirit is no form. The spirit is no shape. That's your gas. When you inhale, you smoke that shit. That shit flies. It rise. And that shit disappears. But that's the soul perspective. When that shit disappears, it's creating a time and experience. And it's going through that shit. It's traveling. The more you do that shit, it get heavy. It get heavy. Feel me? Now, you got you that green. Got you that kush. Now you can put it in the leaves. You can put it in the roll up. Feel me? Now you got stability. Now you got structure. Now you're dealing with it. Now you can roll it up and light it up. Now it's your fire. Show it's what you inhaling. Feel me? Now you could be inhaling good shit or bad shit. It's up to you. It's up to you to allow what you inhale in your life. So you can be inhaling good shit. You can be inhaling bad shit. It's up to you. But of course, let's get into this video. And of course, we're going to do your houses. And of course, we're going to do the zodiac signs. Now, if you got Taurus in your first house, two things can happen. Depending on what kind of vibration you was in, what kind of seeds you planted, when it's new moon, because it's still a new moon. Just because it was in Aries don't mean it's not in Taurus. For me, we got 3 days for this shit. Once the third day is over, then boom. Because remember, it's the birth, it's the life, and it's the death. So the new moon will be at its death after that third day. Then of course the moon is gonna start creating a shape, creating a form, and start to create its spectrums. So you need to start planting seeds in the right spectrum. You had yesterday, you have today, and you have tomorrow. After tomorrow, the moon is gonna basically be in Gemini. It's gonna go in Cancer. Then it's gonna be in Leo. Then it's gonna be a motherfucking Virgo. This is gonna be a motherfucking Libra. This is gonna be a motherfucking Scorpio. And Scorpio full moon shit. You better, and I repeat, you motherfucking better. Make sure you are not exposing what you manifested. Because when you do that, you fuck up all the experiences. Now you're acting opposite towards the full moon. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a full moon scenario. Even though you're having a wonderful full moon scenario, you're going to have a full moon scenario when that full moon slapped the shit out you because you was too out there not being aware of what's going on and not to be exposing certain shit. Now, we about to get into shit, though. But depending on the seeds you planted previously, today and tomorrow, is going to dictate what's going to happen to your personal life, which is your rising sign, which is your first appearance, what you react and respond to first, the mask you carry, where people don't see unless you express this personality. But if you ain't taking, but this is where the unconscious take into play. So these things unconsciously happen. And if you ain't right unconsciously, then you have some shit that you need to be planning on and working on. If you got Taurus in the first house, you're going to be reacting, responding, and valuing your personality. Now, depending on how this plays out, your personality can experience uphill battles or low-hill battles. Personas, expressions, and personal endeavors can be at changes during this time if you allow it. But if you don't feed into the illusion and you allow these things to go past you, everything will be all right. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Now, if you got an Aries, sun sign, you're going to be seeing a different side of your uniqueness, your expressions, and the things that you truly value. Moon and Aries, other people are going to be coming in your life and seeing other sides of things and presenting this to you. So be aware of that. Now, if you got the second house, and if you got Taurus in the second house, which is home here, it loves to be here. It loves to be here. It enjoys being here. If you got it here, you're gonna be valuing. You're gonna be valuing the things that you have to offer to the world. Your value, your personal possessions, and your talents and your gifts. These things can start to change, or can basically be stable, depending on how you present yourself, depending on how you express yourself. Now, it is up to you to allow these things to happen in a positive spectrum or a negative spectrum. The things that you truly value and the things that you truly have to offer, which is your gifts, these things can witness change. So be aware of these things. Now also, if you got a sun in Taurus, the ball is in your court. And if you have a moon in Taurus, you're going to be receiving the sun and Taurus energies right back at you, which is a conjunction. So y'all got a conjunction right now. So ball in your court. So y'all going to show us how it is to be stable, Taurus, sun, moon, ascendants. Also, if you got second house in the third house, your surroundings can witness uniqueness, originalities, or changes. And the things that you value in your surroundings you might be pretty much not valuing them. Or these things can be negative or positive, depending on how these things play out. Now, if you got a Sun in Gemini, you're gonna be seeing the other side of the things that you value when it comes to your communication, your intellect, and your surroundings. Moon in Gemini's, other people, places, and things are gonna be switching up on you with their communication and things, how they value you. Cancers, you got opportunities. Fourth house. If you got on the second house and the fourth house, you're gonna witness changes with your emotional state, your roots, and your home, family, man. Try not to be all over the place during this time. Just you may not want to be home. You may come home, you may experience a certain emotional burst. Like, what the fuck? I don't like being here. Why does this happen? Why is this here? Try to be calm, cool, and collected. Now, Sun and Cancers, you're going to be having opportunities to be able to experience stability, comfortability, or changes, negative or positive. Moon and Cancers, you're going to be receiving this energy right back at you. You got the second house and the fifth house. You're going to be valuing your expressions. These things can change, or these things can be chaotic, or it can be revolutionary style, where you may have to rebel to get attention, to get awareness, to get to center stage. These things might not be happening. Just switch up and do things differently. Now, if you got a Sun in Leo, you're going to be learning how to value your expressions during the sun. Now, if you got a Moon in Leo, you're going to be receiving other people, places, and things that's learn how to value your expressions. Virgos, yeah, if you got second house and the sixth house, you're gonna be valuing your work, your routine, and how you can service to people. Now, these things can be uphill battles. These things can change. You may switch it up during this time. If it don't hold no purpose, you're gonna switch it up. If it does hold a purpose, you might stick with it. But changes can happen anytime, so be aware. Virgos, you're gonna have the gift to value your work, the way you can be a service to people, the way you can value and help people during this time. You're going to have a gift to communicate these things too and help people in many ways. Don't go all out. You may burn yourself out. Moon of Virgos, you're going to be receiving this. So you got the second house and the seventh house. You're going to be experiencing changes when it comes to your relationships and the things and how you relate and communicate. Libras, you're going to be experiencing misunderstandings. And of course, Moon and Libras, you're going to be receiving other people misunderstanding you. Scorpios, you're going to be dealing with opposite energies. Especially if you got the second house and the eighth house, you're gonna be experiencing desires, changes, and shit like that. It's gonna be uphill battles. It's gonna be very nasty with your desires. So be calm, cool, and collective. Try to stay down till you come up. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Ascendants. Stay down till you come up. If you got the second house and the ninth house, you're gonna be valuing your wisdom, your knowledge, and of course your experiences. These things can change and be uphill battles. You may be experiencing the wrong things this time. You may not be a leap of faith this time. You may step back and step away from these things. If you got a Sagittarius Sun and the Moon and the Ascendant, you're gonna be dealing with misunderstandings. You may be too much giving. You may be too out there during this time. You may be too overindulgent. Start to step back, be calm, cool, and collective. And of course, if you got the second house and the 10th house, you're gonna be basically experiencing changes with your status, how you're known, what you're presenting, and how you can be a work or a career force. These things is going to basically witness change and changes. Don't overreact. Don't over-respond to these things. Be calm, cool, and collective. The weather is going to ride away. But if you give in to these feelings and emotions, when that sun go on Taurus and when Venus go on Taurus, you're going to be witnessing backlash. You don't want to witness backlash. Don't do that. Now, Sun and Capricorns, y'all going to have the gift. Moon and Capricorns, y'all going to be receiving the gift when it comes to your work. How you can work on things, get things done, and stay afloat. You feel me? You're gonna be putting a whole lot of work during this time, which is good too. Yeah, be calm, cool, and collective though. Stay down till you come up. Also, if you got second house and 11th house, you're gonna be experiencing changes when it comes to your association, who you associate yourself with, your uniqueness, your originality. Like you just may experience changes during this time. You may not be wanting to fuck with people, or people may not be wanting to fuck with you. Everybody gonna be switching up. Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Aquarius, you're gonna be receiving a learning process, and you're gonna be all over the place. You might be unorganized during this time. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Ascendants. Y'all gonna have opportunities to dive deep when it comes to your dreams and the things that you value. Try not to get lost in these things. And if you got the second house in Pisces, you're gonna be experiencing changes when it comes to your visions, your dreams, and the things that you truly value. You're gonna go to the extremes. If these things don't meet this perspective, don't allow this to happen. You'll be right, real shit.